While we're on this topic, I'm just curious if you have a favorite moment because you have covered him for forever. If somebody said to you, Brian, what's the one story you remember most about LeBron and all your time around him? The answer would be what?
That night in Golden State when they won Game 7. And because not only was it winning and breaking the drought for Cleveland, but also the fact that they overcame the 3-1 deficit against one of the great teams of all time. It's the supreme moment of his career. And he so badly doesn't want to be known as a scorer. He so badly wants to be known as a passer, as a multi-talented player. And for him to get the defining moment of his career on a block shot that is a defining moment in NBA history, for him to deliver that in that moment. I mean, that's sort of a cliche moment, obviously. But there was also one other situation I don't think people remember, which is his first year in Miami when he beat the Celtics. The Celtics had beaten him twice. And the year before, when he lost to the Celtics, it pretty much, greased the skids for him to leave Cleveland. And so he beat the Celtics, and it was not a close series. It was 4-1. It was in the second round. But it was a key moment for him. And when the series ended, when they clinched it, it was in Miami in Game 5. He fell down to one knee. And he stayed on the court after the buzzer on one knee, like showing emotion, which is very unusual after winning a second round series. I mean, everybody's happy when you win the series, and typically you go over and congratulate the teams. Everybody gets together or whatever, shakes hands. He stayed down on one knee, and after the game, he went on this soliloquy where he truly for the first time apologized to the fans in Cleveland. And after keeping up sort of a step up for lip the entire year and sort of being defiant, I had every right to do it and these people treated me so badly. And, at one point even saying, oh, I will be the villain, I'll wear the black hat, etc. He broke down and was like, this is why I had to come to Miami, because I had to be able to get better to beat this team. And it was sort of like a vindication. And even though it was just one step in the process, and even though McMahon's Mavericks, slapped him down a couple weeks later.
More Dirk's Mavericks than mine.
That's true. Which McMahon predicted, which I thought that he were going to roll in that series. I was dead wrong.
I also predicted the Trailblazers would beat the Mavs in the first round that year, but hey.
That's right.
It took me a while to hop on the bandwagon.
So that was even before. Nick, you were there when the Heat knocked the Bulls out like 2 weeks later.
Right.
And I mean, they were happy, but they were sort of matter of fact. LeBron was way more emotional when they beat the Celtics in the second round. And so that was also a moment that it doesn't really get ever talked about in the LeBron sphere. But and then, of course, after he lost to the Mavs, he told everybody that they had to go back to their miserable lives. That was all.
There was truth to it, but some truths are best not told.
And that was also when Dirk snapped a finger ligament and played through it, got a cold and played through it, and LeBron and Dwayne pretended to cough.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember asking Dirk about that, because Dirk and D Wade obviously had history, and that's the one of the very few guys who Dirk legitimately does not like. And I remember asking Dirk about that in the press conference between games. It was right before Game 6 because it was after Game 5. Dirk was sick and hit the game winner, and they were mocking him. And Dirk blasted him for being childish and immature, and he blasted him for a good 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, do you remember Dirk? He was so cold, he had the chills. He was sitting up on the podium, and he had his Mavs warm up jacket zipped up to his chin.
Yeah,
and he was shivering.
The thing that really pissed him off. Well, there was a lot of it, but it was LeBron was just kind of guilt by association. But it was D Wade And because you remember in the 06 finals, D Wade go out, he'd drop like 42 and whatever, and then he'd limp up the, for the press conference, dragging his leg and, and all that kind of crap. And so that's, Dirk was like, I've never faked an injury. I've never faked, anything in my entire career. And that's what all that was about.
Well, I don't know why he would fake it, but he was very clearly, if he was faking it, he was incredible because he was very clearly sick. And you know how Dirk always grabs the mic? He doesn't leave it on the mic stand. He always grabbed the mic. I was like, oh my God, don't anybody go near that mic. He's going to be infected with the flu. But, all right. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you, Nick Friedel. Thank you, Tim McMahon. Thank you, Andrew Hahn.
Did my theme song get played?
Your theme song did get played. I also need Brian to re-record it because this is not the podcast.
Did I say it? I didn't say that.
You did.
Just now?
Yep.
Don't get your me undies in a bunch. Just say it again.